All right. So our first problem for the do now was -2 plus 10 times x equals 78. So for a problem like this, we have all these numbers and we have a variable x. Our variable x is just a number that we don't know yet, and we are going to take steps to solve this equation and figure out what that number is. Now, whenever we are solving an equation, when we are trying to find out what x is, we do everything in reverse. We do everything opposite. So, our operations, if we have a positive number or if we have addition, what is the opposite of that? Subtraction or negatives, minus. So here's just kind of a little reminder for you guys. And then if we have multiplication, what is the opposite of that? How do we undo it? We divide. Division is the opposite there. All right. And then the other thing we need to remember is if we have more than one operation in an equation, like in this one, we have an addition problem where we add a negative and we have 10 times something. So we have multiplication. Normally we do the order of operations, which tells us that we would do multiplication first and then that addition or subtraction. But whenever we are solving an equation, we're going to do the opposite order of operations. So first we undo addition and subtraction, and then after that we undo our multiplication or our division. All right, so following these rules, we're going to remember that our goal is to get x by itself. I have -2 plus 10 times x equals 78. What is the first step I need to take? What should I try to get rid of first? Which number? Yeah, let's try to get rid of this -2. That's going to get us one step closer to having x on its own. So if I have a -2, what do I need to do to get rid of it? Yeah, really, if we have plus -2, we're going to do the opposite, which is minus -2. Or we could just see that we have -2, and we're going to do the opposite here, which is +2. Now, off to the side, minus -2 is the same thing as +2. If we remember, two negatives besides each other make a positive. So for simplicity, I'm just going to write +2. Is everybody okay with that? All right. So whatever we do to one side of an equation, remember that equal sign shows us where there is the other side of the equation. So if I do +2 on this side, I also need to do +2 on the other side, just like this. All right. So what's going to happen to -2 and +2? They're going to cancel out. I'm going to just cross them off. Now I'm going to bring everything remaining down. I have 10 times x equals, what is 78 plus 2? 80. Okay, that was my first step. I added 2 to both sides. That's step 1. Now we have a whole new equation. Every time we do a step, I like to think of it as a whole new equation. I have 10 times x equals 80. What do I need to do now to get x by itself? What number do I need to get rid of? The 10, exactly. So to get rid of the 10, I need to think about what operation I'm doing here. 10x means 10 times x. And if I have multiplication, how do I get rid of it? I divide it. So I'm just going to take 10x and I'm going to divide that by 10. And remember, whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do it to the other side. So I'm going to do 80 divided by 10 as well. All right. What happens to my 10s? They cancel. So I'm left with x by itself now. So I have x. I'll bring down my equals. And what is 80 divided by 10? 8. For number 1, we are going to get x equals 8. Very good job, guys. Any questions about number 1? Did anybody get something different? It's okay if you did. If you got something different, do we feel okay about this process? All right. We're going to move on to number 2 if we don't have any other comments. I think the more we do, the easier it feels. So let's try number 2 now. I'm going to move on down. For number 2, I have the problem x divided by 4 plus 3 equals 10. All right, so I have 2 different operations happening here. I have a division problem where I have x divided by 4, and then I have an addition problem where I have something plus 3. What should I get rid of first? The plus 3, exactly. So if I want to get rid of plus 3, what should I do to it? Subtract 3. We always do the opposite. We're using inverse operations. So I'll do minus 3. Where else do I need to write minus 3? Under the 10 on the other side of the equal sign. Perfect. What happens to my 3's? They cancel. Now I'm going to bring everything down that I have left. I still have x divided by 4 equals, what's 10 minus 3? 7. Good. Okay, now I have a whole new equation. We've done step 1. We took away 3. Now I'm left with x divided by 4 equals 7. Remember, my goal is to get x by itself. What is my next step to doing that? Yes, multiplication. Thank you, Rhonda. So I have x divided by 4. If I want to get rid of 4, I'm going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. I'm going to do this times 4. And I got to do times 4 on both sides. So my 4's are going to cancel. And then I have x by itself, so I'm going to bring that down. X equals, what is 7 times 4? 28. Good job. All right, any questions about number 2? All right, let's try number 3 then. Okay, so for number 3, I have 21 is equal to 9 times x minus 6. What part of this equation do I need to work with first? The minus 6, good. So we have minus 6. What do we do to get rid of it? Yeah, we're going to add plus 6. And where else do I need to write plus 6? Under the 21 on the other side of that equal sign. Good. Okay, my 6's cancel. Now we're going to bring it all down. 21 plus 6, what is that? 27 equals 9 times x. All right. Now I'm left with a whole new equation. 27 equals 9 times x. What's my last step here? Divide. I have a multiplication problem, 9 times x. To get rid of multiplication, we divide. So let's take 9x divided by 9. Same thing on the other side, 27 divided by 9. My 9's cancel. I've got x all by itself now. So I'm going to bring that down, bring my equal down, and what is 27 divided by 9? 3. Perfect. X equals 3. All right, are there any questions about number 3? Okay, can we go to number 4? Let's do it. All right, last question of our do now. Number 4, we have 9 equals 5 plus x divided by 7. What should we do first? Yeah, you're right. We have a plus 5 here. We want to get rid of that first. So what can we do to get rid of that? Subtract. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to do minus 5 to both sides of the equation. All right, what happens with my 5s? They cancel out. Those 5s are gone. Now let's do 9 minus 5, which is 4. Now I still have an equal sign, and then I still have x divided by 7. Now we have a whole new equation here. I've got 4 is equal to x divided by 7. What do we need to do next? Yeah, we're dividing here. We have x divided by 7. So to get rid of a division problem, to get rid of divided by 7, we're going to multiply by 7 on both sides. So our 7s are going to cancel. I'll bring down my x, bring down my equals. What is 4 times 7? 28. All right. And that is your answer, guys. Okay, that's it for our do now. Really, do we have any questions before we go on? If anybody's confused, let me know. Do we feel okay about all this? Okay, good deal. We're going to move on then. Today, here's our topics. We are going to be reviewing our one-step equations. We're also going to review our two-step equations, and then we are going to introduce something new. We're going to introduce a multi-step equation. All that means is it's going to have more than 2 steps. Okay, so let me flip on to the next page here. So for the next part, we're going to start a little section, and we're going to title it our one-step equations. So let's give some examples of one-step equations. We have x plus 3 equals 10. There's a one-step equation. I'll also give you x minus 2 equals 2. Give you 2 more. So we've got a plus here, we've got a minus. Let's do a division problem. Let's do x divided by 3 equals 12. And then let's do a multiplication. How about 5 times x equals 20? So let's practice our one-step equations. Remember, anytime that we are trying to figure out what x is, we are using those inverse operations. So I'm going to write that here. Inverse operations. And all that is our plus changes to minus, our multiplication is changing to division, or the other way around. So let's look at our first problem. We have x plus 3 equals 10. What do we need to do here to solve for x? Subtract 3. Good. So we're going to take 3 away from both sides. All right. There's our one step. Our 3's cancel. And now I have x equals 10 minus 3, 7. One step and we're there. X equals 7. Now let's look at the next one. We've got x minus 2 equals 2. How do I solve for x here? Yes, you are adding here because we have subtraction, x minus 2. And to get rid of subtraction, we use our inverse operations and we add. So I'm going to do plus 2. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Those 2's are going to cancel. I'll bring down my x equals 2 plus 2 is 4. Good job. Okay, now let's look at this third problem. I have x divided by 3 equals 12. What do I need to do to solve for x? Multiply. X divided by 3, to get rid of division, we multiply. We got to do that to both sides. So our 3's cancel. And I'm left with x by itself equals, what's 12 times 3? 36. Good job. Okay, last one for practice here. I have 5 times x equals 20. How am I going to solve for x? Divide. Good. So I'm going to do 5x divided by 5 to get rid of the 5's. And whatever I do on one side, I have to do to the other. So then I'm going to do 20 divided by 5. And my x is going to be by itself, so I'll bring that down. X equals 20 divided by 5, which is 4. Good job, guys. Okay, so in a one-step equation, there's only going to be one operation that we need to undo. We're just going to be using our inverse operations to know what we need to do to undo it, to get x by itself. Remember, our goal never changes. Our goal is always to get x by itself. So we want to get rid of anything that's keeping it not by itself. So now let's go on and review our two-step equations. Because once we start doing more than one operation inside of an equation, we then have to think about not only what operation we're doing, but what order we need to do it in. Okay, so for example, let's say we had 3 times x minus 2 equals 13. Okay, so not only are we using inverse operations, but we also need to think about the order. So we're also going to be using inverse order of operations, or PEMDAS. So I'm just going to write under here My first step would be to undo addition and subtraction. And my second step would be to undo multiplication and division. I'm going to leave the other steps out for now because right now we're just working with these 4 types of operations: addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. So let's look at this problem I gave you. 3 times x minus 2 equals 13. What does our inverse order of operations tell us to do first? Yes, we want to get rid of that minus 2. So what are we going to put under it to cancel it out? Addition, is that what you said? Good. Yes, we have a minus 2. We're going to do a plus 2. And whatever I do over here, I have to do where? Under the 13 on the other side of that equal sign. So I'm going to do plus 2 on both sides. All right. My 2's are going to cancel. And I'm going to bring down what's left. I still have 3 times x, so I'm going to write below it 3 times x equals 13 plus 2, which is 15. Okay, now I have a whole new equation. 3 times x equals 15. What do I do now? Yes, we need to divide. We're going to be using our inverse operations just like in a one-step equation, okay? Or like any type of equation. We've got multiplication here. The opposite of that is division. So to get rid of 3 and to get x by itself, we need to divide by 3. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. And since our 3's cancel, x is by itself. And we're going to have x equals 15 divided by 3, which is 5. Good. Very good. Let's do one more example of a 2-step problem before we introduce something new. How about we do x divided by 4 plus 6 equals 10. So, what does our inverse order of operations tell us to do first?
Cancel out the addition plus 6.
Yes, we want to get rid of our addition and subtraction first. So, we have a plus 6 here. To get rid of it, we're going to do minus 6. And we've got to do that to both sides of the equation. My 6's cancel out. On this side, I have x divided by 4 left. So I'm going to bring that down. I have an equal, and then I have 10 minus 6, which is 4. Okay. Now I have a whole new equation. I have x divided by 4 equals 4. What do I do now?
Division.
We are doing division here. How do I get rid of the 4? We're going to multiply. We're going to do the opposite. Do the opposite. So remember, x over 4 means x divided by 4. So to get rid of a divided by problem, we need to multiply by that number. So I'm going to do times 4 on this side, times 4 on that side. My 4's cancel. Now I've got x all alone. So I'm going to bring that down, and x equals 4 times 4, which is 16. Any questions about the 2-step equations? Any questions? Okay, let's go ahead and introduce our multi-step equations. So, I'm going to write a section here now. Multi-step equations. And I'm going to give you an example that we are going to work out together. I have 6 plus 2 times x minus 5 equals 17. Okay. Without me explicitly telling you what to do first, second, and third, what do you guys think we would do here? Yeah, we've got a plus 6. We've also got a minus 5. And then we've got a 2 times x. So, Penny, you're exactly right. We can absolutely get rid of that plus 6 first. We could also get rid of the minus 5 first.
Yeah, I was gonna say minus 5.
We could do either one. Either one. So just like whenever we are using the order of operations to do an equation, or not an equation, an expression, and we're trying to find the answer, we're not solving for anything, we would do our addition and subtraction just from left to right. It doesn't matter exactly what order, bless you, just as long as that we do it together. So it just means that we need to get rid of all addition and subtraction before moving on to the next step of multiplication and division. So since Penny pointed out the 6 first, let's just get rid of the 6 first. So step 1, we've got plus 6. How do I get rid of it? Subtract 6. Now where else do I need to subtract 6?
Under the 17? No.
Yes, you're exactly right. Remember, this equation is split into 2 sides. The left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign. I've already taken away 6 from this side, so now I just need to make sure that I'm keeping it equal, and I take away 6 from the other side. If it helps you to draw a line over your equal sign, do it. I see a lot of people do it in their work, and if it's helpful for you, do it. Okay, what happens with my 6s? They cancel. Great. Now I just need to bring everything down that's left. I still have what? What am I writing down here?
2x.
2 times x
Minus 5.
minus 5
Equals 11.
equals 17 minus 6 is 11. Good. Okay, now I have a whole new equation, guys. I have 2 times x minus 5 equals 11. What should I do first? Yes, we want to get rid of this minus 5. We still have addition and subtraction to get rid of. So to get rid of a minus 5, we do plus 5. Where else do I need to write plus 5? Under the 11. Remember that equal sign is going to show us the halves of our equation. So let's do plus 5 here. My 5's cancel. What's left on the left side of the equation?
2x.
Just 2 times x now. We've got 2x equals 11 plus 5, which is 16. Okay. Now we have a whole new equation all over again. We have 2 times x equals 16. What am I going to do now to get x by itself? I've got, yes. We are multiplying here already. To get rid of multiplication, we divide. So to get x by itself, we're going to divide by 2 on both sides. My 2's are going to cancel. I'm going to bring down my x, bring down my equals. What is 16 divided by 2? 8. X equals 8. So guys, a multi-step equation like this, it might look a little scary, but when you break it down and just do it one step at a time, take your time with it, go slowly, be organized, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. So let's do a couple of practice problems together before I have you try on your own. I would like us to try, let's do -3 plus, and guys, I had a couple people in a few of my other classes complain about using x as a variable just because it was confusing them with the multiplication symbol and other things. So I think starting here, let's use n, just the letter n standing for a number we don't know. Let's just try that today. N divided by 2 minus 4 equals 2. Okay, we're going to do this one together. So let's go ahead and write out that reverse PEMDAS, our reverse order of operations. Those are just going to be 2 steps that we're working with right now. And that first step is to undo any addition or subtraction. And our second step is, once all that's gone, we undo any multiplication or any division. So that's what we're going to refer to every time we solve these equations. Okay. What should I do here? Yeah, we've got -3. Let's get rid of it and let's add 3. Where else do I need to add 3? To the 2 on the other side of my equal sign. So here's one side, here's my other side. I gotta do it to both sides. My 3's will cancel out. That means I'm left with n divided by 2 minus 4 equals 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay. Now I have a whole new equation. I have n divided by 2 minus 4 equals 5. What do I do next? Plus 4. Let's get rid of that minus 4. So I'm going to do plus 4 here. Where else do I need to do plus 4? Under the 5 on the other side of the equal sign. My 4's cancel out. I'm left with n divided by 2 on this side. And I've got my equal sign. And 5 plus 4 is 9. Are we done now? No, we're not done. We still have a division problem here. We have n divided by 2 equals 9. How do we get n by itself? Times 2. So in order to get rid of division, we multiply. So times 2 on the other side. My 2's will cancel, so I'm left with n by itself. N equals 9 times 2, which is 18. N equals 18. Good job, guys. All right, let's do another one together. Let's do 12 plus 4n plus 3 equals 31. Okay. What should we do first? Subtract 12? Is that what you said? Okay, let's do that. Let's subtract 12. Minus 12. Where else should I subtract 12 from? 31. I've got to go to the other side of my equal sign. Perfect. My 12's will cancel. Then I'll bring down whatever I have left. I've got 4 times n plus 3 equals, what is 31 minus 12? 13.
19.
Oh, 19. 19. Good. Okay, now what should we do?
Times 4.
So let's look at our operations. I've got 4 times n, and then I have whatever that is, plus 3. Yeah, so we want to make sure that we follow our steps, our order of operations reversed. We get rid of addition and subtraction first. Then we get rid of multiplication and division. So we still have a 3 to get rid of. Does that make sense, Rhonda? Okay, good. So let's do minus 3 first. Where else do I put minus 3? Perfect, under the 19. My 3's cancel out. So I'm going to bring down my 4 times n equals, what is 19 minus 3? 16. Okay. Whole new equation now, guys. I've got 4 times n equals 16. How am I going to solve for n? Divide. I've got a multiplication problem. To isolate that n, to get it by itself, I need to get rid of the 4. Since we're multiplying, we divide. Division is going to cancel it out. So, my 4's cancel. I'm left with n all alone, so I'm going to bring that down. N equals, what is 16 divided by 4? 4. Good. Very good. Okay, I have some practice problems I want you guys to do. Do we want to go through one more together before we try on our own, or are you ready to just try on your own? Does anybody else want to go through one more? If even one person does, we'll do it.
I do, but
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give you the practice problems then, and Rhonda, when you get back, we'll do another one together.
Okay.
All right. So, here is what I would like for you to try on your own now. I'm going to give you 2 or 3. Here's number 1. You're going to do 5 plus 3n minus 7 equals 11. For number 2, 12 plus n divided by 6 minus 10 equals 14. And if you just so happen to finish those 2 and just want to do another one, I'm going to give you a third one for fun. Let's do negative 3 plus 2n minus 2 equals 11. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording and we'll set a little timer for you guys. Okay, so for number 1, we have 5 plus 3 times n minus 7 equals 11. What's our first step here? We have 2 options.
Minus 5.
Yeah, we could do minus 5. We could also do plus 7. Let's go ahead and start with minus 5. And I'm going to do that to both sides of that equal sign. So I also need to write minus 5 under my 11. Okay, now what? Yep. They cancel. Great. Then we want to bring everything down. We still have 3n minus 7. So let's write that below. 3 times n minus 7 equals 11 minus 5. What is that? 6. Good. Now we have a whole new equation here. We have 3 times n minus 7 equals 6. What should we do here? We want to add 7 to get rid of minus 7. So I'm going to write plus 7 below it. Whatever I do to one side of my equal sign, I've got to do to the other. My 7's will cancel. I'm left with 3n on this side, so I'll bring that down. Equals, what is 6 plus 7? 13. Okay, now I have a whole new equation again. 3 times n equals 13. What do I do to solve for n? Divide. Good. We're multiplying here. So to get rid of multiplication, we divide. So let's take both sides divided by 3. My 3's will cancel, and I'm left with n equals, and when you type that into your calculator, I believe you get about 4.3 repeating. Did everybody get that? Okay, so n equals about 4.3. Good job, guys. Any questions about number 1 before we try 2? Any questions? Okay, let's try number 2. We have 12 plus n divided by 6 minus 10 equals 14. What should we do here first? We've got 2 options first. Yeah, let's go ahead and subtract 12 to get rid of plus 12. Where else am I going to subtract 12? 14. Good. So my 12's cancel, and I'm still left with this n over 6 minus 10 equals 14 minus 12, which is 2, I believe. Okay, now we have a whole new equation here. We've got n divided by 6 minus 10 equals 2. What's our next step? Add 10. We've got to get rid of our addition and subtraction completely first before we can start thinking about multiplication and division. So we're going to do that to both sides of the equal sign. My 10's are going to cancel. I'm still left with n divided by 6 over here, so I'm going to bring that down. Equals 2 plus 10 is 12. All right. I have a whole new equation again. N divided by 6 equals 12. What is my final step to getting n by itself? Times. If we are dividing to cancel, we need to multiply. Times 6. Times 6. My 6 is cancel. So I'm left with n all by itself. I've got n equals 12 times 6, which is 36, I think. I'm wrong. Sorry, guys. 72. I wrote the wrong number down. My bad. N equals 72, not 36. I don't know what I was thinking, y'all. Okay. Did anybody get something different? Just me. Okay. One more for good measure. Number 3. I'll leave that showing a little bit in case somebody didn't finish writing. All right, number 3, we have negative 3 plus 2 times n minus 2 equals 11. What should we do first? Add 3 to both sides. Okay, our 3's cancel. We're left with 2n minus 2 equals 11 plus 3 is 14. Now what? Add 2 to both sides. 2's cancel. 14 plus 2 is 16 equals 2 times n. Last step? Divide. We have 2 times n. Let's do that divided by 2 to get rid of it. Both sides divided by 2. N is by itself, and it equals 8. Excellent. Do we have any remaining questions, guys? Or how are we feeling about this whole process? We feel okay? Okay. I'm going to give you an exit ticket. Your exit ticket today. We did not get to number 3 and 4. We don't know how to do that yet. So, I just want you to do number 1 and 2, and I'm going to cover those up. There is your exit ticket. All right, I'm gonna end the recording there.